This is the groove I'm handing you, so I hope it's the groove you like. What's nice? What's nice? Obviously, the outcome of this day. Holy, 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 hooray. Holy, hooray. The tension we all felt in our sternums and in our diaphragms and in our rib cage and in our throats today was a lot. Let's appreciate each other for all going through that collectively as a humankind. Some of us, humankind. I did this setup in the funky, I'm going to give the hippie vibes to 420 because I believe I need a little lightness. I took a very ceremonial, thankful to any gods or ascended beings in charge of George Floyd finding some vindication, appreciation, liberation, a sliver of what's needed. And the tightness, it's still so tight in my chest. And I had what you would generalize also as a triggering experience today, a triggering almost run-in, path crossing. Leave it at that. It was a day of a lot of build-up. Much build-up. I ditched out on getting the vaccine today. Personal choice. Heard some information that shook me. And then I heard more information that shook me. So anyway, that's a whole thing. I won't get into it. I respect all kinds of choices as long as we can respect each other a little. I'm just not ready yet. That's what I'm going to say. With the things that are happening to women my age, I'm just not ready yet. And being on continuous birth control, etc. Anyway. It felt like a heavy decision and I cried a lot because I feel very stuck. And I'm not sure how to unstick myself. And I don't want to go to concerts. I don't want to be around everyone in their urgency when I don't even feel like we took the breath we really needed to as a planet. And the scientists say we didn't even take the breath that we needed. But today there was a breath. There was an ability to breathe that Derek Chauvin will face the consequences of his hateful actions. His obvious disdain for another human life. And I just feel like we've all been collectively purging and recovering and sort of healing and then things being ripped open again. It happened again tonight. So I've decided to give a balance of whatever high I can provide. I took two very sacred sips of marijuana this evening, and I mean sips. I've been trying to pump the brakes and see the world as it is and try to accept it rather than constantly trying to put a lens cover on it and a filter and a gel and make it look different. And I want to just feel more, and there's where the scrolling comes in and the self-hatred and whatever else evolves from that, just not being able to be in life. So I'm trying to do that. But I do respect Mary Jane. Have been in love with the gal for a while. I have deep feelings for her. So just a little sip that I needed to just ever so slightly lubricate my chest muscles, which have just been in this contraction of waiting for what's going to happen and what might happen next and Boulder and the next thing and tonight and these angry men, quite frankly, that need hugging classes and empathy classes and this equals human life. Here it is. Look at it. It's beautiful and not as scatterable as we've made it. Just scatter it. It's fine. No, it matters. It's life. it's just gotten so metallic and grinding, and metal gears grinding against each other till it's just all sparks and that horrible sound that my neighbor makes all the time with the metal grinding on metal. It's just that horrible sound in our souls. And I want to recover. Oh, I feel like I can't recover. So the biggest thing that came, watched a lot of reporting today. We've watched most of everything that's been happening. We do a lot of absorbing of what's out there in our sleepy little nook that we're in out here. We digest a lot of what's been shaken down. So, I was very saturated with it already, as we all are, but a lot of what I was hearing from people of color in their reporting, in their journalism, in their interviews, artists, professors, former police chiefs, all walks of life, really, but especially people of color, just said, we're exhausted. We can't, I want to feel something like happy, but we know that this is a tiny, tiny fingernail scratch of something continental, huge, universal, really, massive. And we've scraped a little bit of the grime off. But there was just this exhaustion, like, well, yes, Lester, or yes, Brian, or all my pals. That's what I always do that to congratulate myself, because that's Anthony Michael Hall in the Breakfast Club. Just punch yourself in the bicep when you feel a little bit of camaraderie or goodness. They're saying Rachel or Brian or whoever my peeps are. I want to say I'm happy, but I just feel so tired and like there's so much more to do, and there is. And there's so much that has been undone. And I've been really diving into like cinema of the 50s and 60s recently, of late, to kind of find that thread in my mind of like what was happening and where were we and how are we back there in that feeling, in that just like gut punch all day. And with endometriosis, that's what I feel like anyway. Gut punch all day. So when I have to feel it double, it's sort of a bit excessive. And I can't even speak. I am not even near the level of pain that there is. I am in that empathy tier. I am lucky to be this constantly aching empath because I'm not living in horrible neighborhoods and I'm not seeing these things firsthand. And I have, I would say pretty frankly that when I lived in North Hollywood, I felt very weighted by the have-not paradigm, the less than paradigm, the oppressed paradigm, because it was all around me. And I saw the true, like, shaking, shuddering suffering of it. And could never sleep at night. Could never sleep at night. Because it was so apparent and obvious. And I was in it for a time. But then you think of all the layers of what people are actually humanly dealing with right now, and it's a flood. It's just a flood. So, that's the only way I can describe it, is like, I want to cry. I want to have this like, yes, I want to have this like, yes cry, but it's like, last night's poem was breaking braces brackets. It's like the brackets are tightened as tight as they can be, but it's braces brackets inside my chest, and I just feel like everything is very wound up, and I can't. I just want to cry for everyone and feel a little bit like I'm in a field, just a little bit like we're all in a field. Wouldn't that be nice to gain that back in the human way of things, I don't feel it on Instagram. I don't feel it in the scroll ache of my thumb. I don't even feel it when I try really hard to give people my eyes and ask them for theirs. I don't even feel it then, really, hardly anymore. And I talked to a dear, beautiful friend tonight who is in the city and is in the gritty of it at times. Just, it's been so very long since I felt humanity right there next to me in a way that I could touch. And not just because of the pandemic and not touching, but in a very steel cold matrixy way. Why can't I feel it? Maybe that's just me, I don't know. But there is so much celebrating to do, and I keep walking through because I'm thinking a lot. It's even in my song tonight. I'm thinking a lot about doors, and everything feels like asking you to choose from 3 shitty doors or 7 shitty doors or 2 shitty doors with scary hot handles and snakes coming out from under, and it's just but you have to. You have 30 seconds, you have to pick a door. And yeah, that's kind of how everything is going. And so I kept trying to have, I guess, the perspective or the gratitude today of think of the other door. Think of where your energy would be. This red hot electric aching seething ball that I feel right now, what would it be had the other door been the door that we all went through collectively as a people, as a collective persons who all try to put each other in these, oh, but you're those people, oh, you're those people, you're hashtag those people. It's stop. I don't like it anymore. I just wish we could be in a field together. But the other door would have really been a crushing blow. So I keep trying to put myself in check about that, because it still feels like that pressure on every part of you, pressure that it's not enough and it's not changing and we're not fixing the planet fast enough and we're not fixing ourselves fast enough, and it's getting away from us in the sand, and there's so much stupidity, and people are just still on boobs and butts. Oh, look at this butt, look at this butt. Oh my god, did you see her butt? It's probably not even her real butt. Sorry, I don't want to get in that lane. I'm trying to be in a reverent lane. So I have my pickles next to me, Mr. Pickle and Super Pickle, to just kind of try to pick the party up a little bit, because it should be a party. I obviously still don't want to be around people, but we should be. The door that we needed to go through, just at least for this part of the mission, was gone through. So I'm trying to add some lightness, but my song has some of the heaviness. I just brought a few showy-telly things. I don't get into it. We'll go through it. This just seemed like, yeah, sure, of course. It's a stash case, and it's also a whale. And he's got a light in his tummy. So, thought, that should come out. Just seemed to sort of fit. It's a whale of a world right now. Whale of a thing. This seemed reverent and pretty, and I found it on my hike the other day, and it was just out in the field. This beautiful sticker of pressed flowers and this gorgeous thing. And I'm seeing so much Instagram-y people taking tons of huge wildflowers lately, and you're not supposed to do that. just a little word to the wise. We think we're so worthy of ripping everything up because, hey, pretty, and me, and I'm pretty, but you're not supposed to do that. Don't pick the wildflowers. Even just smell them, just put your face in them and love them a little. That's how you do it. This, I've shown it once before, but it bears repeating now. It's bears. There's a panda pair. It bears repeating now. A bear and a tiger just kind of going crazy on your psychedelic TV. this, because it's just, it's the thing. It's the thing of my kin that we try to begin anew with stamping a little happiness onto the rest of it. This I found crazy. If you watched my video the other day, a few days ago, wherever we are now, two nights ago, it was about bats. And in my finding of this hat, which I've had since 1988, when I was a 3-year-old, trying to find this, and this, Kermie, and legalize it, and one other button I'll show you that was another magical thing, but pulling these out, and this came out, and I can't believe that I didn't find it for my bat thing, because it's literally just all the bat facts that you need, and listed in the most comprehensive way. Vampire bats are social creatures, sharing food with less fortunate roost mates who are hungry. Isn't that beautiful? My gosh. So, anyway, found bat facts. And this is a spinning, delicate, beautiful marble world, which I think I've shown you maybe before, but also just is real good. And there we are, and we're so delicate, and it's just, you know, way more breakable than we think it is. But we just go on taking our chances. Spinning it at will. And then this stuff that's from the early 90s in my mom's shop. Am I a huge ASMR star now? Am I a huge ASMR star yet? Yeah. It's very fun mermaid material. And then this is a UFO spaceship, which I used to keep my marijuana in, my marriage Juan, my anxiety treatment. Well, that's really fun. I never found that character. Couldn't I make a really cute little old man in a story? Hey kids, let me tell you about a land where people are actually nice to each other. And they talk instead of clicking on things. It's a faraway land. Here's me, here's my face. Sorry, to get into that for a minute. I wish I could get into my thoughts about aliens as it ties in, tunes in with everything else that's happening right now, but I can't get into it. It's too much. And people wouldn't be ready for it anyway. But I could tie it all together, and just, it's tied together. It just is. As I come upon, I didn't know I stuck it in here, my Alien Revolutionary Journal, because they are kind of one and the same, and I wish I could explain it better, but I don't have time. I mean, I do, but I don't. Because I want you to feel this thing that I felt, that I hope I can remember, because I just practiced it to myself and it was quite good, but now I'm not sure, you know. I'm having that human chest tight doubt. But beautiful day. Hallelujah. I can't even imagine the turmoil that we would all feel. Wow. Yeah, because you can feel it. Everything feels like it's buzzing right now. This was the other crazy thing I was digging for, and, you know, often in my videos I get crazy about losing things or not being able to find things, and I was going up and down the stairs and looking in all sorts of bags and baskets, and it was right here on my bed. I've been meaning to sew this, so it was on my We Out Here Aliens shirt, so that ties in, and Legalize Me, Captain. I think I've shown you that one before, but it doesn't matter. It's a holiday in many ways. In many ways, we have a lot to just put up our sheer gratitude beams about. I feel, let me center myself for just a second. I feel unequipped and ill prepared to be public with words today. It feels like a tall order, right? So I feel it's important to be in it, though. And I want to be in it, and I want to be a part of it. And I want to express my frailty in not knowing what to do next, and my stubbornness for wanting to believe that we're just gonna be okay. But my unshakable doubt that maybe we won't be. That we won't see the signs quick enough. Because look at how we've performed. It's all been a test. And today we got a pretty good grade. But I am afraid that has not been the case across the board with our percentage placement in the class. As a human, hey, we're all here on the planet. Why don't we just make it enjoyable already and loving? It's just a thought. It's just a thought. Okay, so. Fun intro. Feeling a real strange mix of trying to bring you a little brightness and feeling a lot of, oh, this cavern is deep. Oh, got so much climbing to do until the top is reached. I'm gonna just sit back for just a second and know that the right door got opened. So, kind of feel like standing for this. Okay, so I'll just do it. I'll stand. Be sure to look for meteors in the next few pre-dawn, midnight on. Look, because now more so than ever, I feel like they're all messages, and they're all really important messages. And souls. And souls. George Floyd, countless others who have suffered literally and figuratively under the knee of absolute power corrupting absolutely and continually. But look for them, the souls and the messages, because they're going to be there in abundance basically from now until like early May. So, that's what I say. Okay. I just kind of feel like I need to stand for it. Because you've got to stand for a lot right now. Okay, I'm nervous. More nervous than I want to be for some reason. Because it's a big day. And I wrote half of this at the very beginning of the pandemic. And half of it this evening after the right door got opened. It's a song, and wrote the first half in the grass. Stay off the grass. And the second half on my couch, weeping, and shaking. And it's called How Does That Make You Feel? Which is like, all respect to therapy, because I absolutely think it works and it has saved me in more ways than I can express and more times than I think I could count. But that is always interesting to me when that wordage gets brought up, because it's so like the TV thing that the therapist says. It always kind of throws me off. But it also makes sense. It's the universal kind of like, well, how else can we relate to each other? You hear these crazy experiences and survival or near not survival or revival of, just the things people go through. And sometimes what can you say other than, well, how does that make you feel? Because there's a lot of things I don't think we know how to interpret from each other. And that's okay. We can just ask, hey, are you okay? Do you need a hand? How does that make you feel? So, it is comforting and I get it, but it's also kind of kind of an interesting line. Yeah, so I'm stalling. Sorry. Sorry, but I'm actually not sorry. I'm glad. I'm just glad to be with you. And I want to bring you the tune right. So let me go into my head for just 1 second. Okay, I'm just going to go for it. That's what matters here today on day 110? Day 110. Yes. How does that make you feel? Well, I got good and stoned for therapy. Made a list of what's ailing me. I stopped counting at 203. Well, I guess this could stretch on permanently. If you permeate the periphery, you'll find what's left of me. You mine the heft of the gold I had. Now they ask me to pick a door, happy or sad. I'm a tad past picking fast tropes. It's a bad task sticking hopes into the bottom of the hope chest. Sticking your hopes into the bottom of the hope chest. When will our human hearts get a bit of rest? Are the fates putting us all to the test? Should I stay here in my little nest to say that I'm not feeling my best is to put it very, very lightly. I'm just weeping nightly for the fights that so ignite me, but that my little spark would not feel mighty enough to be tough and rough and tumble to stand strong and not fumble. But small as I am, I cannot just stand to see this beautiful humanity just crumble. The storm clouds of reckoning have long been rumbling. Put your hand to the ground. You can feel the warning sounds and the damages we thought we'd moved past. Just come back, come back, come back around, come around, come back around again. When this new history is penned, what sort of message will it send? I can't fend off this terrible weight. I can't relate to people who can't relate. I got too much riding on my plate. And I anticipate this is just the first trickle of a floodgate. Oh, how on earth is there still so much hate? I feel hard pressed to celebrate. A little relieved, but still depressed, and I believe there's still a lot of tests and a lot of fallen ones to venerate. A lot of new headlines to generate. I try and I try to concentrate, but I just ruminate till very, very late. And the high fades, and the high fades, and the high fades, and the long days still seem stuck in retrograde. In retrograde. It's not what I wanted it to be, but it is what it is. It's like I was practicing it, just trying to get it back into my head, because I just wrote most of it, and it was right where I wanted it to be. But that's the intangible glimmer of the thing you try to pull out from yourself. I got good and stoned for therapy. Made a list of what's ailing me. I stopped counting at 203. Well, I guess this could stretch on permanently. If you permeate the periphery, you'll find what's left of me. You mine left of the gold I had. Now they ask me to pick a door, happy or sad. I'm a tad past picking fast tropes. I'm bad task sticking hopes into the bottom of the hope chest. When will our human hearts get a bit of rest? The face putting us all to the test. Should I stay here in my little nest? It's evolving. It's an evolving song. I think what it is. It's like what I said. Everyone gets on camera and they're kind of like, I'm trying to sing it out, and I feel like my voice is gone. And without the artifice, before the camera was on, it was really sparrowing out of my throat, and now it feels kind of stuck. Like, I want to give it to you so bad, and it's sort of stuck in my throat. I don't know how else to describe it. It was there. Sad to me. It's the same. It's the tightness. It's the same feeling. Can fend off this terrible weight. That's what it is. I can't relate to people who can't relate. That's my best friend's line. I've used it in several things. Just makes sense for a lot of things. Can't relate to people who can't relate. Hi. But we're all in this delicate spinning thing together, and I wish I could have just sung it to you so good like I had it, because today feels like a day I really want to give my holiness to. Praise, regard, offering. I just really want to give my offering, and I did. There's a lot of new headlines to generate. Try and concentrate. But I just ruminate till very, very late sneeze when you sneeze, right? That's why I never go anywhere. Somebody's always gonna sneeze somewhere. Yeah. I just want to give it to you the way I did it in my practice. It's making my eye twitch go again. But I just really want you to have it that way. The storm clouds of reckoning long been rumbling. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? It is what it is. I wrote it tonight. There it is. I wrote the first, probably... Actually, the song was quite short, quite brief before I felt what I had felt today. I think, the original one ended on, "You mind the heft of the gold I had." So there's just those few lines. At that point I was on 203. I stopped counting at 203. Well, I guess this could stretch on permanently. That was my fear. And I was in the grass making my list of things to talk about in therapy, and that's when the little ditty came to me. But if it was at 203 in last April, I don't know what the count is at. But I'm glad I'm here with you. You are here. Wish you were here. And there's my humble offering. I wish it was earth-shattering. I want to be earth-shattering in my appreciation of the door that was just chosen. But I too feel quite wrung dry for some reason. Like I'm trying to tap into that zest, that electric pulse thing. I'm trying to tap into that, and it's April 20th, 2021, and it's there for you in the digital catalog of happenings and musings of the very tumultuous universe, and gorgeous. It's like I feel this flirtation with the universe all the time, fighting and angry. Do you know you're gorgeous? I hate you. But you know I love the way you make waffles. It's me and the universe like that, in this sort of tug of war. That's what it feels like. But I just can't seem to get my the toy machine claw hook around my source beam that I want to give. I can't. I feel sad that it feels so tired. I feel sad that part of me feels so tired. Brian Williams tonight said it well in a question. He was interviewing an author, a very long string of extremely poignant interviews, and he said something about, well, through your hard-earned pessimism, what would you tell people that you want them to understand tonight through the lens of your hard-earned pessimism? And I thought that was just very articulate. And the man just simply said, stop killing black people. Stop. Seems pretty to the point. And, of course he went on to say a million other really, really articulate things. But I just thought that whole exchange was quite beautiful, and that the hard-earned pessimism sort of put it in a quite frank display case of how are we supposed to feel? How is anyone who cares about the human spirit and the human dynamic and where we are at this point in our history, what else are we supposed to choose besides, I kind of don't trust this anymore, and I'm very scared. And what a lot of people would say, why are you being negative? And it's like, well, I'm kind of just feeling the crushing weight that's present. It's like sort of hard to ignore, if you ask me. Though I do try diligently to look to the sky, as you should, for the lyrids, for the souls and messages and signals and streams of all that we've been before and all that we could be and all that we should be if we only put a little of that, like, love and care for the people that were here before us that we say we have. If we just put a little of that elbow grease in, of the origins of us and why we're so lucky to be here, we could get it. We could have it. We could have it. But it seems like we keep checking off the box on the test that we know is the wrong answer over and over again, collectively. We as a, like, how does this not budge? Like, how is there so many of us? The like, why are we fighting so hard? Why is there so many of us? The, like, looking up from the cavern, trying to be like, can we get out of here? We've got to be able to figure it out. I just feel like we have to be able to figure it out. So today was one foothold or handhold on that climb. But it certainly tires the mind, doesn't it? If you care, you're tired right now. If you care, you're tired. But look to what's glimmering in there and what's possible. I think it's quite a lot. I think we've got quite a lot that we can pull out from the trap door, right? Let's get to the good part. Let's get to the good part. I think we're fully capable. I really do. I've got my bets on us. It's hard to put that salt in the game right now. It's hard to put that cash in the match. But I'm betting on us. So thank you. There's my little glimmer that I have reached down deep for. It's hard to say for some reason. Reached down deep for. There you are. Look to the skies. Look for the signals. And hug someone. Be safe, but get your hug in tonight.